All right, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Sheffield United. This is match day, and you are wondering, I know, I can read your mind already. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Karthik, what the hell are you doing here? You're not Irish. You're not Joe. You're not white. Racism, but we'll let it slide. What are you doing here? Well, everything's just gone out of proportion. We don't know what we're doing anymore. But I'm here now. I'm doing the pre-game show. Welcome to the brand new pre-game show. This was originally meant to start 10 minutes ago and sort of have a little build-up towards the game. Unfortunately, due to technical issues and Joe has disappeared off the face of the earth, I am now hosting the show and we'll take you through to about half an hour before kickoff, maybe just a bit earlier than that. Obviously, we're going off the cuff, so hang in there. Everyone, get in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you're feeling ahead of this game. United away at Sheffield United. Bottom of the league. 1 point. No wins. Should be confident. Are we? Of course not. This is the kind of game that United struggle in traditionally. And if recent form is anything to go by, this is the game that we will end up losing. But you'd like to be a bit more positive than that. We are just about a minute away from kickoff. In fact, from team news. Bloody hell, Karthik. I'm here in a rush, guys. You've got to let me catch up with my thoughts a little bit. Right, everyone in. Bernard says team news in yet? It should be in soon. Stuart, yes, we have tried turning it off and on again, and it is now working. And I'm going to pretend that isn't a racist comment at me because I'm Indian and I'm not running IT. Gary's here. I bet Shaw's playing. Oh, we better not be. Let's get that lineup in. Twitter, where are you, Man United? Tell me what the lineup is. Come on. Where are you? Is it in? Yes, it is. Right then, United starting lineup for this evening's game. In goal, Dean Henderson comes in ahead of David De Gea. It looks like we are playing a back four. Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back, Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire at centre back. Left back is Alex Telles, so no Luke Shaw. I'm seeing Nemanja Matic, who will probably be holding midfield. I've got Paul Pogba alongside him. Looks like Bruno Fernandes in the 10 with Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood on the wings with Anthony Martial up front. So you might argue that that is our strongest team. On the bench for United, David De Gea, Luke Shaw, Fred, Juan Mata, Scott McTominay, Donny van der Beek, and Daniel James. Right then, early reactions. Let's get some guests in. Let's see what we think. First one in. Who's it going to be? Let's have a bit of mystery about this. Who do we think is the first guest? And let's pretend it's someone, someone that plays for United. Who would it be? Who do you think I'd bring in? It's probably someone that's not playing. I'm bringing in David De... No, I'm joking. It's not David De Gea. How are you doing?
I thought you were going to say Akin Fenway there, and I was like, you better not, mate.
Mate. I would not go there. We've had enough racism in these comments calling me IT. What do you make of the team?
Mate, I just tweeted out, look, call me Neo, because I knew that Henderson would start, mate. Just call me Neo from Matrix. You know what, right? I'm looking at the team. So we've got Tellers in the left back, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka. Then we've got Pogba in the middle with Matic, Martial, Fernandes, Greenwood, Rush. You know what? I'm all for this, You know what I'm all for this? It's because we're not playing two traditional CDMs. I know we've only got one traditional CDM in Matic, but we're playing with an attacking team. We're not playing Shaw, which is, I'm all for Shaw. I love Shaw in terms of his defence and what he brings to the team and his calmness and his good footwork and the way he can just burst to recover and pick up pace. But Solskjaer's here and Ollie, he's gone bold. He has gone washing machine, Purcell bold. Like, honestly, this is I'm for this. So now, you know what? We can't blame Ollie now. He's picked the right team for me. And now this team has to just go and do it, man.
Yeah, it certainly looks like he's picked probably the strongest team. I think everyone would agree. Comments, what are you saying? Let's have a look. Definitely not. I think that's referring to the IT comment. Lee Grant. What's Lee Grant doing about? Is he on the bench? No, he's not on the bench. Bernard, I don't know how to pronounce your name. You're going to have to tell me. I'm going to go Bernard for now. Great side out tonight. Greb's in the comments. It's a positive team. Gainer, how you doing? Interesting team news. Good to see Tellers back, guys. Good to see Tellers back. I hope he has a good game because he's not had a great start to his career. And I mean, not his career. He's had a career before this, but I meant at United, where I felt he could have done a little bit better. Do you think we could see a good performance from him today?
You know what, right? Just on that point though, what about Van de Beek? Oh, you know what, mate. Look, I love United, right? And I like what we're doing, what we're trying to achieve here. But Van de Beek cannot get a chance. Like, is something happened? Does like Ollie know him from a different past and like he picked him up one time or something? Because Van de Beek is a baller. This is a game where he can go and kind of cement his place, but he can't get on the bench. I don't get it, mate. I don't get it. I'm happy with the team, but I feel Van de Beek he's been dropped short a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I've just seen a comment saying my sound's fuzzy. Hang on to me. That should be all right. Yeah, no, Van de Beek. It's a strange one of them because it feels like he's had enough time now to be settled in.
Yeah,
it feels like he's had enough time to be in a situation where it's not a case of, oh, is he settling to the Premier League? No, we've seen him enough times and he's playing well. So why isn't he playing? But yeah, comments, let us know.
You can also see Pogba starting as well, which is bold. Obviously, we keep talking about Pogba this, Pogba, Logba. You know what I mean? It's getting boring now. But at the same point, Ollie, I said this before, man. Ollie is ruthless. He doesn't care. Like, he's using him as an asset. It's like buying a house or getting a car. If you buy a car, you buy a car to get from A to B. That's your journey. I don't care if the car didn't want me to pay my bills or whatever. I don't care if the car's got a bad wheel. I'm going to use that car. This is what Ollie's doing. He's thinking to myself, look, I need to win this game. I've got a world-class player who on his day can beat anyone. Let's see if he's playing for that contract. Let's see if he's playing for that move. And he's being ruthless because I know a lot of managers that would not play Pogba just out of spite, out of just, you know what, let him rot on the bench. We've seen what happened with Ozil at Arsenal. We've seen what happened when people just get absolutely just on the bench and crowded out. So I respect Ollie for using Pogba. I don't want to see him play, in honesty. But if he helps our team win, I don't give a monkeys, man. So I'm happy with Pogba playing as well. Van de Beek needs to come on. I'm a bit shocked on Greenwood. I don't know what your thoughts on Greenwood, but I actually prefer Greenwood to be a striker. That's how he grew up. That's how he scored goals. He keeps putting them on the right. I don't know what you think about that.
I think it's a case of he's still waiting for him to develop the physicality. I think he will be a number 9 maybe in the next 2 years. But for now, I think it is sensible to, at least until we buy a right winger, it's fine. We can put him on the right now. People argue that his decision making still off, and maybe he needs to develop a bit more to his game to be on the right hand side more permanently. But I feel, just give him games. Games equals development, and the more development he has, the better he becomes, and the more his decision making even improves. You can't learn if you're not playing. So that's where I stand on it. Gainer's in the comments. He says he's pleased with the front three. Yeah. Goal first. Do you know? We'll get into our next couple of guests as well. But tell us what you're expecting from the game and score prediction.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the team. I'm looking at Sheffield United as well. They've got McGoldrick. Sounds like something out of Harry Potter. You got Burke there. He's a workhorse. We all know. Fleck's actually a decent baller. And Burge. I don't know how to say Burge, Burger, whatever it is. They're actually good, decent footballers. Look, the problem is people can't forget that this team was fighting for Europa League. They were fighting. They were playing good ball. People were confused. People were touting Wilder to be, he could be a top 6 manager. It was huge. Somehow they've fallen by the wayside and they can't win a game. They've lost 11. They've drawn 1. Where's the next win going to come? I tell you right now, they better not get it here, because if you're looking at their formation, they're playing a 5-3-2. Look, they want to make sure that they do a low block. They're hard to beat. They're not going to go out all expansive, because I know for a fact they didn't play a lot of 5-3-2 last season. They didn't need to. But they're coming here to sit back, to have a low block and be hard to beat. This is Jose Mourinho, lemon bus, right? But in terms of our formation, this is super attacking. And I know some people and some fans that will say, this is too attacking. We've got too many players in the pitch. We're trying to fit too many people, round holes and square pegs and all this different thing. With Telles, I'm a bit worried if he goes too attacking, because you've got Martial on that left side. Martial does track back, but he's not the most inclined to always track back. So I'm hoping Telles has a measured performance. Wan-Bissaka on the right is fine. He's better in a 4. He's never been good in a 5-3-2 or whatever you call it. He's never been confident there. He's good on a 1-on-1 defending. Matic, he knows how to play. Look, I know he's slow, but if you've got the midfield of Pogba and Fernandes who will go wherever he wants, Matic should be fine just playing that ball. Up top, yeah, look, Rashford looks good. We know Rashford looks good, but my main person I need to get off the score sheet today is Martial. Look, he's not played bad. He's not one of those players where he's like, oh my gosh, he can't do a touch. His first touch is in Mars. Like, I don't know. He's playing good. He's helping the team with that sort of pattern and that playmaking. But at the same time, he can't score. He's in that situation where if he wasn't getting into positions to score, I'll be like, see you later, Martial. No problem. It's not me, it's you. See you later. But he's getting in the right positions. He just needs to finish. He just needs to ricochet off his ear. One of those Hernandez, those Hernandez backheader one. I don't care how it happens. Just get it in there and he'll go. But you know what, mate? If we do not beat this team, I'm sorry. Something is wrong with Manchester United. Forget about the pandemic. It's all about here, I tell you right now.
Score prediction then before you go.
Score prediction, I'm going to say, my friend, I said it before, I'm not going to change. 3-1, they'll score a lucky goal, like a header, a back deflection or something. But yeah, I'll say 3-1 to us. See you later.
All right, then. Nice one. Thank you for joining. Guys, in the comments, make sure to like the video while you're here, because if you're not liking the video, what's the point in you being here? What is the actual point? And it's free of charge. Go do it. Do it right now, and then I'll bring in the next guest. Let's get into the comments then. Oh, my word. What have I done here then? Gainer, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I've heard the name being used in terms of a male, so that's why that's happened. I do not mean to offend you there. Temmie is in the comments. Temmie, this is your show. What are you doing? Why am I hosting your show? It's shambles, mate. These Americans, eh? I'm joking. I love Temmie. 5-0 says Brown Knight. That's his score prediction. Right. Enough of my nonsense. We're going to bring in the next guest now. If any of you follow United's academy, you will have heard of a certain Charlie Savage, and I've got a very big fan of Charlie Savage, and I can see him smiling in the backstage. I'm going to bring him on. Here's John. John, how you doing?
Hello, how are you doing? All right.
Yeah, not too bad. How are you feeling ahead of today's game?
Oh, I'll tell you what, they wiped the floor with Leeds. They all had a really good game, and Charlie was, but you got like the Hugel and Charlie McNeil. There's a few Charlies in that team, and they're all cracking players.
Yeah, including our very own Charlie Savage. I'll have to have a chat with you about Charlie at some point. I feel like that's a great discussion to have. But we'll get into that later. What do you make of our team lineup then?
I'm just glad he hasn't gone with 2 CDMs. I was begging on Twitter earlier not to start with 2 CDMs, not to go defensive like that. But I thought if he was going to play Tellers at left back, then I thought he would have gone with 2 CDMs, because Tellers likes to get forward, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And Shaw is better defensively. So I'm surprised he's gone with Tellez, but I'm happy at the same point because his delivery from the left is A1. Yeah.
Also, an important inclusion in the team, I think, is Matic. How important do you think he's going to be?
If you play him as a CDM on his own, he can be. He has his good days and his bad days. He's either brilliant or he's terrible. And I'm only assuming Fred must have picked up a knock because he's been outstanding lately, Fred.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of McTominay. Everybody knows I'm a big fan of McTominay. But McTominay and Fred in Europe playing as a 2, I think they're really solid. But tonight, when you have to go attacking, Sheffield United there for the taking. Matic probably on his own. I'm quite happy with that.
You've got quite a few fans in the comments here, just before I carry on. Joe says, we're looking great, guys. Joe, you fraud. This is your show as well. You were meant to host this. What are you doing in the comments? Honestly, if I wasn't here to save match days. Brown Knight loves you. Hammer says, how can we become a guest on here? Well, get in touch with me and we'll sort something out. There you go. John is great on Twitter, so brilliant to get his views on here. There you go. You've got plenty of fans in here. Right, if you like John...
£10 in the post for that one.
Yeah, you'll get your 10 soon, Gainer. So if you like John, like the video. Simple as. Right, so Sheffield United then. They've been struggling at the start of this season. They're without a win. Now, usually you'd look at this kind of game and go, well, United should wipe the floor with these. So why are we all sat here worried?
Because I think that Sheffield United could see this as the game to kickstart their season. It's United, it's at home, and they're on a bad run. But when United come to town, everybody seems to pick their games up against us, and they could look at this as a no lose. Nobody expects them to win, so they're going to play with the freedom, and they could hurt us, and it's their opportunity to really get their season kick started.
Yep. Oh, more comments. Hang on. We've got to keep up with these. Carthy to the rescue, of course. In terms of Sheffield's lineup, then I'm just seeing it now, so I'll announce it while John's here. In goal, they've got Ramsdale. Their back three is Basham, Egan, and Robinson. At wing backs, they've got Baldock and Stevens in the midfield. For them, they've got a three of Ampadu in the six, which I think is a very, very good prospect for them. Sander Berge, Fleck with McGoldrick and Burke up front. Do we need to be worried about McGoldrick? Because I've been doing a bit of reading into how Sheffield have been playing this season, and it looks like he's actually got a pretty high XG. Now that means he's getting into good positions to score good goals, but he's just not finishing them. So is he a player we need to worry about?
Yeah, I think so, because sometimes the communication between Maguire and Lindelof isn't what it should be. They don't keep a flat back four, so he's quite capable of running in between and down in the channels and stuff like that. So they've got to have their heads screwed on tonight, them too. Yeah,
definitely. I'm not overly worried, but it's the kind of game where they'll just be fired up, as you said, and
yeah, absolutely. They'll be up for it.
Exactly, it'll be their backs against the wall, so they have to win this. Otherwise, they just can't catch up. No. Before I move on to the next guest, then final thoughts on what you think we can expect from the game, how United should be beating Sheffield. Like, what do we need to do, and your score prediction.
I think if we can just sort of keep it quiet for the first half hour, because they'll come at us like a train. Keep it quiet for the first half hour, because we've had bad starts, haven't we? Let's be honest. Yep. And we can't keep rescuing games, in the second half. So I think we keep them quiet for half an hour, and I think same as Source, I think we'll run out 3-1 winners.
Lovely. So we're all going 3-1 here. Thanks for joining us, John. Make sure to follow him on Twitter. He is absolutely brilliant, and make sure to keep an eye on Charlie Savage.
Another 10 post.
See you in a bit, John.
All right, take care of it.
Right then, that's 2 out of 3 guests. We are quickly moving on to our third. Let me know how you're finding the show so far. It's a brand new show. We're trying it for the first time. So let us know what you think. This is, if it goes well, we're going to add it to the match day package, and it'll be a weekly thing. Well, every game thing. And we can get you guys involved as well. So make sure to get involved. If you're watching this anywhere other than YouTube, so if you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, make sure to head over to YouTube on the All for United YouTube channel. Make sure to come subscribe over there, and make sure to head over there and like the video. And of course, get in the comments. Get involved. I've just seen someone drop in the backstage. I'm going to wait for him to get ready, and I'm going to drop him last because he deserves to be last, and you'll see why in a minute. Next guest then. Hang on, I'm not going to add him until there's 2 more likes in the video. Come on, boys. Let's do it. Boys and girls and others. We're not discriminative. Comments. Where are you? Don't leave me yet. We've still got a while till kickoff yet. I've seen 1 like increase. You know what? We'll give it. Here it comes. How you doing, Kai?
Hey, how's it going, Karthik?
Not too bad. How are you feeling ahead of today's game?
I'm all right. A little bit nervous, as all United fans should be. But I'm all right. I'm quietly confident, I think.
Should we be nervous because we're playing bottom of the league?
You know what? I think we should. And I'll tell you why. Because if you look at Sheffield's results this season, actually, if you look at the fact that they played City, they lost 1-0 at City. They lost 2-1 at Liverpool. They lost 1-0 at Leeds. They lost 2-1 at Arsenal. They lost 2-1 at Leicester. And I can't remember the other big game, which was also 1-0. So if you see, the margins aren't actually that big. And this is also against the good teams. So this tells you as well that the managers which go against Chris Wilder also fail to figure out the low block early. And you find that those teams change their tactics generally mid-game to try and suit or to try and, break down Sheffield. And obviously, I guess, their lack of confidence, their lack of concentration at times is obviously what's really killed them this season. But they haven't actually been that bad. They're not a real bottom of the table type of team, if you understand what I mean. So I think there is a bit of concern.
I do agree, because I think that's why they're showing faith in Chris Wilder, because I mean, I think their board have openly come out and said that if they were to replace Chris Wilder, they would be looking at a Chris Wilder style manager. So there's no point in changing that.
Exactly.
In terms of how they'll set up against us, do you expect them, like me, do you expect them to set up in a low block, or do you think they might be a bit more adventurous?
I think they'll set up in a low block to start off with, because obviously it's going to be that case of we don't want to concede too many chances too early, because when United score, then it's normally over basically. So generally, I think they'll set up in a low block, and the most important thing I think is going to be how Bruno and Telles. On that side, how they play with Pogba, I think on that left hand side, if it's too lopsided, and they need to get the ball out quicker. So Maguire and Lindelof need to play the ball out way quicker than they normally do. Maguire spends way too long on the ball, and I think if in this low block, we need to circulate the ball really quickly, a lot of one-touch movement, and as well as that, when we play slowly, Greenwood's performances, basically his general in-game performance also drops because he's not really about playing on the right-hand side. So what we need to do is really play that game really quickly in that midfield. Greenwood comes in the midfield, and that's the only way that we're going to get past that sort of line. And also considering Sander Berge, I think that's his name.
Yep.
I think it's going to be an interesting battle between him and Bruno, because I think they're just going to put him right on Bruno for generally the game. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And as we've seen, normally when teams set up with someone tracking Bruno, we normally run out of ideas. But let's just hope, because Pogba's in a deeper position, then he's able to free up some space. But that's what I said, why I said Maguire and Lindelof have to pass the ball a lot quicker in order for that to happen. But yeah, that's my general thoughts on how we can break them down.
Fair enough. We're nearly half an hour till kickoff. Jarvis, what a fantastic name, by the way. Whenever I think Jarvis, I just think of an AI. So I'm going to call you Jarvis.
Matt Jarvis, the number 7, the classic
him as
winger.
well. Him as well. I don't care how we do it, as long as we get 3 points. Exactly. Brown says he gets said a lot, but I would rather we fielded a second fiddle side today, keeping an eye on Leeds. No, that's dangerous. We don't want to be doing that. So I need to get my last guest in before we get to kick off. So final thoughts then, and score prediction.
Final thoughts. I just think we need to overload that midfield, and we need to pass the ball really quickly. But I think we might win it, but I think it's going to be a little tighter than we think. So I think I'm going for 2-1 for United win. Obviously, Bruno to score, and Rashford.
We love it. We love it. Make sure to go and follow Kai on all the socials. I'm assuming that's Twitter that you've got on your screen there. Make sure to go follow him up. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Karthik. Cheers, guys.
Right then, we've got one more fraudulent guest, and if you've been watching my front three chat podcast that I have, there's a little series we like to call Fraud Focus. Now, I've already recorded this week's Fraud Focus, so I can't nominate him for my Fraud of the Week, but I will for next week. I'd like comments. Tell me who you think is going to be the next guest, because I'd like to see you guess. Anyway, if you've just joined us, what have you been doing with your life so far? We're going to go through the team news once more. So for United, then in goal is Dean Henderson. The back four is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, and Alex Telles. No Lucas Shaw. Get in. Midfield is Nemanja Matic, Paul Pogba, and Bruno Fernandes. The front three is a disgusting front three. Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, and Mason Greenwood. On the bench for United are David De Gea, Luke Shaw, Fred, Juan Mata, Scott McTominay, Donny van der Beek, and Daniel James. We don't have a recognised striker on the bench. That might be worrying. Lineup for Sheffield is Ramsdale in goal. Their back five is Baldock, Basham, Egan, Robinson, and Stevens. Their midfield three is actually quite an interesting three, and I like the look of it. Ampadu in the 6, Sander Berge and Fleck ahead of him. And up front for Sheffield United are McGoldrick and Berg. On the bench for them is Verip, Sharp, Brewster, the former Liverpool product, of course. Phil Jagielka, Musset, who's a very dangerous player, Norwood, and Osborne. So they're not terrible, Sheffield United, as we've discussed already, but their backs are against the wall. They need to win it. We've already got a successful guest on the fraudulent guest. Here he comes. What the fuck are you doing, Joe?
Oh my God, Kartik! I have not ever. I don't do stress. Okay, I live in a heartbeat of sort of like a bum, 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 just steady, wonderful. Okay, but when you're 3 minutes, 6 minutes before you're going live, all right, and then suddenly your internet just goes, no, not happening, no, just not happening. And I was like, okay, this isn't ideal, but like I was like, it's cool, it's breezy, it's fine. I didn't even leave through my front door. I hopped out through my window, ran over to my neighbors, okay, with my laptop in hand, broke in illegally, not illegally because they didn't allow me in, but illegally that you're not allowed in anyone else's houses in the current climate, right? Got their internet code. When I was putting in their Wi-Fi, I accidentally turned their Wi-Fi off, all right? And as Carter, you will know from our WhatsApp group that I was a little bit stressed in putting like my a million apologies in when I was.
I didn't listen to it because I was actually live doing your show, Joe.
And then when I eventually got everything going, I was.
Well, he's just gone. That's just killed me. Oh my goodness, Joseph. He's left me. He's actually disconnected in the middle of giving me an excuse as to why he wasn't here. That's fucking brilliant. Give us a like just for that. We're going to wait a couple of minutes to see whether Joe comes back. But yeah, I'm feeling confident ahead of today's game. I think United need to be wary of this low block. I think Sheffield are no easy team, especially under Chris Wilder. They're capable of anything, to be honest. And we've got to be wary. We can't take this easy, which is why I think Ollie's gone for such a strong team. Especially with other teams around us dropping points, there's a big opportunity for us to win a game here and really keep in touch with the top of the league. Because hey, you might not think we're capable, but if we're keeping in touch, then we're keeping in touch. But yeah, so before I wrap up the show, I'm going to tell you what you've got to expect coming up today. So the Karthik match day extravaganza on All for United continues with the live tweets. So get on the Twitter at All for United. I will be taking over the Twitter and tweeting you all throughout the game using the hashtag AFU Matchday. So if you want to interact with me, use that hashtag. I will see all your tweets, hopefully. And I should respond to them. The fraud's back, so I'm going to let him join me for wrapping up the show. But I don't want to hear your excuses anymore, Joseph.
Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. It just went. It just went.
Anyway,
sorry.
As I was saying, after the match, we'll have a post-match reaction. I'll be hosting that. Joining me will be Barry and Mark, so join us for that one. And straight after that, as always, we'll have the player rating show. Joining me will not be Temi, will not be Joe. It'll be Barry, who had a quite good reception last week. So
it's hard for him not to have a good reception.
Exactly. I mean, some people don't get good reception like you, Joe.
I set you up for that one. I threw it up and you knocked it out of the park.
Lovely little assist there. Temi's trying to soften me up here. Miss my brothers.
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, everyone wish him a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Temi. Yeah, so Joe, before we wrap up the show, any quick thoughts about the game?
I'm very excited. I thought there would be a lot of mix in the match, and I did think Henderson would start, but I also thought that he might bench AWB. Only, again, not because I think he's been a little bit off the last couple of weeks, but I thought it might just been for resting because we are playing the bottom side. But I feel like he's putting out a really strong lineup, and it's a big thing that De Gea is actually on the bench and not like drop for injury or whatever. I think that's a really good statement. I'm very excited to see Henderson in goals. I'm delighted that it's a good attacking formation that we're going with. I think we'll have a really. I know Sheffield United have been good, even though they only have 1 point. But I feel this will be a 2-0. I'm just want a clean sheet. I want a good performance, so I'm going for a 2-0.
Who's scoring?
I'm gonna go. He's my captain of fantasy football, so Bruno, baby.
Bruno, he's gonna score both.
Yeah, why not? Both penalties.
2 Bruno penalties in one game. Let's have it.
And both of them have to be retaken as well.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
It just wouldn't feel the same. Right, so I'm going to kick Joe out of the screen because he doesn't deserve to be here because I've just saved the show. I've saved the show. What would All for United do without me on match days? Get out of here, Joe. See ya. Right, I feel a bit mean for doing that, but let's face it, he deserved it a little bit. I love Joe. We all know I love Joe. Right then, so you're stuck with me for the rest of the day. You get to see my face over 3-4 videos now, and you get to hear me chat shit on Twitter because I don't do that on a regular basis. So stay tuned to All for United. We'll have you covered throughout the game. We are now half an hour away from kickoff, and a win today will see United go 2 points away from Spurs. 5 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, you might not believe me yet, but you're starting to believe me now. The title race is still on. Bring it on, boys.